We're all about bashing baddies and eating cheeseburgers.
The video you're going to see is me opening and taking a look at the action figures from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Playmates Mutant Mayhem Knockoff Knockout 2-packs, which were a set of action figures released for the shorts released before the SpongeBob movie last year, Home Alone 2 Lost in New Jersey. And it was a fun short that I really liked, but the reason it just took so long for it to actually come out, even though I had the footage, is because just a bunch of life stuff got in the way, and I just had to be pushed back and back. And so yeah, that's why this video's late, and why if anything I say then is like outdated, like if I make any references to like whatever and it's outdated, that's the reason why. But my feelings on the action figures are still very much the same. I still think well, I'm not gonna tell you, you're gonna watch the video for that. But anyway, go ahead and enjoy the rest of the video and stay tuned for the end where I'll actually talk about the very late news of Mattel gaining the toy license for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which has been knowledge for quite a while now, but I have yet to actually share my feelings on it. So yeah. Okay, so as you can see, here we have the Playmates Knockoff Knockout 2-packs of Leo and Nardo, Donnie and Danny, Raph and Ralph, and Mikey and Mark. These are based on the recent Mutant Mayhem short that is in front of the SpongeBob movie. I actually bought a ticket to the SpongeBob movie just to see this short, and it is great. I absolutely love it. And the movie itself, the SpongeBob movie, not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. You know, it was like it was not too bad. It still wasn't great though, but it's like maybe like the third best SpongeBob movie, honestly. But yes, the short itself was great, and so when I saw that Playmates made figures of the winter clothes version of the turtles that we saw briefly in the opening, but also the bootleg turtles that were in the special, I was like, okay, I need to get these. So yes, I'm glad to have these. These were kind of hard to find. Like, I didn't pre-order them initially because I was like, okay, I don't have the money right now, so I'll just wait later and to order them later. I didn't pre-order them initially, which was a mistake because they immediately sold out, and I was like, what? No, dang it, but I really want these. And then they started showing up at stores, but very rarely. And eventually I found the Leonardo at a store randomly, and then my family, while they were doing some Christmas shopping without me, they found the other three at a store, and they were like, David, do you want us to get these for you and pay us back later? And I said, yes, please do that. So I got them. Here are the knockoff Knockout 2-pack turtles. Very excited to open these. I don't have the Chrome Dome, but I'll probably get that later and open it up in a short. But anyway, yes, let's open these. So I know the main aspect that people will want to hear about these 2-packs is the knockoff turtles, but let's give some love to these turtles right here, the winter turtles in their winter clothing inspired by the short. Because I really like these. I like the idea of having turtle figures with like street clothes on. That's what I enjoyed about the video game line that they did for the Mutant Mayhem video game, which was like them in their school clothes, Raphael and Michelangelo. And I was really sad to see that they canceled the Leonardo and Donatello they had planned, because it doesn't look like we're gonna be getting those. And for not just because they were canceled, but also because of, well, something I'll go over a bit later. But it's great to have these turtles because, I don't know, I like them. I like these turtles with like clothes on. Here he has a nice coat, a scarf, some earmuffs, pants, and shoes. All the turtles have shoes, which I think is funny. The idea that when they're just out and about, they wear shoes, but when they're fighting, they go complete barefoot. I don't know, that's just funny to me. And he comes with a shopping bag that's blue. And I believe you're supposed to have both the handles on his grip right here, as you see. But it also feels like it could come loose every now and then. So, but overall, it fits pretty well. I do like this look. I think it's funny that he has a serious look on here. Like, he has his eyebrows like that when, like, dude, you're just going shopping. I'm like, why is he all blurry? This is neat. I like this one. We have Raphael. He also comes with a shopping bag that's red, and same thing with the grip there. And he has a tracksuit on, which I think fits his character pretty well. I think it's funny that they have to wear these big clothes over their shells. Like, I don't know, I just think that's goofy. That's like an interesting detail to think about. The idea of the turtles wearing clothes and like how it's gonna have to fit with their turtle anatomy. And yeah, I don't know, that's just a goofy thought to have. Here he has a red beanie, and they all have their mask on, even though like in the short itself, they're only wearing their mask when they go off to fight Chrome Dome. They don't have the mask when they're just shopping. I wonder if these are new molds or if they are reused. I'm assuming they're reusing some parts from other Mutant Mayhem figures, but like I feel like some of these things have to be new. This one is really good as well. I like this Michelangelo with this big sweater. He also comes with a puffball hat, and his accessory is this mug that he made for Splinter. Look at it. It's definitely a funny visual gag in the short. Articulation on them is about the same as other Mutant Mayhem turtle figures. You know, some decent range for a kid's toy. And it does what you want it to. It's fun to fiddle around with and hold in the hand, and they give them like a good amount of play value. I could see myself as a kid liking these and playing with them a lot if I had them. We have the Donatello, who doesn't come with an accessory unless you count his headphones or his bag over here as an accessory, because you can take it off. And I like his look a lot. He might have my favorite look. I like his big puffy purple jacket, and he comes with his headphones, his glasses obviously. He also has a mask there, as you can see. And I don't know, I think design-wise, he's just my favorite. This one's just nice. And I do wish he came with like an accessory though, maybe like a phone, but I know like the Mutant Mayhem figure also came with a phone, so maybe that could have just been like repeating itself. He does use his phone briefly in the short, but like I don't know if that's enough to justify like giving him that accessory in this, but I don't know. Anyway, he is still pretty cool. These turtles are nothing too special, but I just think it's nice to have them. I like the idea of turtles wearing street clothes and having action figures of these. The more turtles in my life, the better. Here we have the 4 bootleg turtles, or should I say the tubular tortoise karate warriors. Oh my god, here we got Mark, we got Ralph, we got Danny, we got Nardo, all hilarious names. And I love the detail on this packaging. Like they really went above and beyond to make these look like their own figures, that they're like they have their own logo, they have like their own like back right here with details on this specific action figure, and like all the information on the company is like authentic imitations. The company in the short that makes these figures, or I guess the one person, technically, the one robot. It's a whole thing. Watch the short. But yeah, I love it. They really went above and beyond to make these look authentic, with quotation marks around that, because they're supposed to look bootlegs. They're supposed to look kind of bad. But yes, I think these look so good. I love the details on this packaging so much. Look, they even got their own bios. See real tortoise in action. Look at that. That is amazing. Let's look at the ones for these two. Oh, I like the detail here. And they each even have a little character bio specific for their turtle. Their tortoise, I mean. Almost don't want to take them out of the packaging, because like I kind of want to display them like this, but I'm sorry, I wish I had the money to buy another set of these turtles just to keep these in the packaging. But I'm gonna open them. I'm gonna try to see if I can preserve some of the art, you know, so I can at least keep the back here. Maybe this right here. So I did try to preserve the packaging as much as possible, and I don't think I did a terrible job. Look at that. I think most of the art is preserved. It looks a little bit wonky over here on this side, but like, I don't know, I could see myself keeping these. The goal is that one day I find these sets again for like cheaper, like maybe on sale and stuff, and I'll just buy them again and keep the turtles, the knockoff turtles, in their packaging, and I could throw these away. But like, I don't know, I just feel like these were too nice, these were too cool to throw away for now. So yeah, this was probably a bad idea. It's probably a dumb idea, but I still want to do it. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this trash. Here are the knockoff turtles. That's right, the bootleg turtles, and they look glorious. Oh my god, I love the way these look so much. They absolutely look like they do in that commercial in the Mutant Mayhem short. In fact, I think they might have used these actual figures in that commercial. I don't know, they kind of look like they do. I can see that. Them just asking Playmates, hey, we have this idea for this special, can you make bootleg turtles of this? I don't know, I need to know what came first. Yeah, these are really neat. I like these a lot. We got Mark, Danny, Nardo, and Ralph. Okay, there's just so much to go. Like, obviously they're playing off of the established names of the Ninja Turtles, like Mark, Mikey, Danny, which is Donnie, And you got Ralph, who is Raph, which I like because it's like a common misspelling of Raph's name, just saying Ralph. And then we just have Nardo, which I feel like could be a reference to the joke in the first movie where they try to give Leo a last name, so they just split up his name, and they call him Leonardo. So I don't know, that could be a reference to that. These faces, man, look at these faces. They look goofy. Like, what is this expression on Danny's face? Look at the squished, look at the squished, stretched out face on Mark. Like these ones, also look pretty goofy. I love the exaggerated proportions of these figures. Like these veiny arms, these big muscular chests. It looks super ridiculous. They kind of look like really weird He-Man style figures of the Turtles. What's this, you may ask? They have an action feature. They have this I believe it's like a karate chop, or just you just swing them and they bam, bam, bam. They all have this, although some of them are better than others. Some of them feel kind of weak. I think the strongest might be this Ralph. Yeah, action! The weapons are also off in this. The ones that I think are the closest to what they're supposed to be compared to the original Turtles are these ones, I want to say, and maybe the Danny. Nardo has katanas or swords, I guess, but they're curved, so they're not exactly like the ones Leonardo has. Ralph doesn't even have size. He just has these tuning forks or something. And you got this Danny who doesn't even have a bow staff. That's just a stick. I know we make that joke regarding Donatello, all he has is a stick. No, this guy Danny has an actual stick as a weapon. The least correct is not even nunchucks. They're just a stick with a chain and a metal ball with spikes. And these definitely give off the vibe of bootleg toys that are like the originals, but have just quite a few things different about them to make them not get sued by the main company. And they were definitely really fun to see in the short, and it's so fun to have them in hand actually. I think this is genuinely really fun. These are probably going to become some of my favorite pieces in my Ninja Turtles collection, and they're honestly pretty fun toys on their own. I think the goofiness is there to make them funny to look at, but the actual play value I do think exists there, from the action feature, which is, hey, I could see that being fun for kids, and the articulation on them is actually pretty good. It's very much what you would expect from the other Playmates figures, but yeah, there's some good range in the movement, not too much on the bends on the arms and knees. In fact, the knees I think feel kind of weird, but you could honestly say that maybe them being weak goes along with the crappy bootleg toy feel. And yeah, and I like the bright colors on them as promoted in the packaging. They really they did a really good job on these, and honestly, I think they should have gone the extra mile to make them worse. Or I guess gone less of a mile, if that makes any sense, make them really feel like cheap bootlegs. But yeah, these do still feel quality, and they have really goofy designs, and I like that. So yeah, these figures are generally really fun. So yeah. And for my final comparison that I do in every video, here are all the figures standing next to each other and Superfly. And these figures are really fun. I think Playmates has done a really good job at supporting the Mutant Mayhem series for Ninja Turtles, from making a lot of figures for the movie, the TV show, and even some for the video game, even though they did kind of cancel some of the ones they had set for that one, for that line. And of course, making toys for this new special. I think the special was absolutely great, and I really enjoyed seeing it at the movie theater. And so getting a set of figures for the Turtles in their winter clothes that we saw in that special, but also the stupid bootleg toys that were in the special itself was amazing. And I think these are just generally really fun. And I think it's another sign of just how Playmates does a good job at, tackling the turtle toys and making things that are generally really fun for fans. So it kind of saddens me to say that it looks like these are going to be some of the last Turtles we are going to get from them ever. So the original ending of this video was me talking about, I was speculating on who could get the license for Ninja Turtles, since it was announced that Playmates will no longer have the license starting in 2027. But then the video took so long to make that they had already announced it, and it was going to be Mattel. My quick thoughts on this. So honestly, I'm kind of mixed about everything. I really love Playmate's tenure with the Ninja Turtles brand. Like, they are such an important aspect to Ninja Turtles history. Like, they have been making the Ninja Turtles toys since the 80s. And I think the Ninja Turtles franchise as a whole, I think owes some of its success, not all of it, but some of it to the success of the toy line. And so seeing as every time there was like a new movie or show, the Playmates was right there to make action figures for it. And also, you know, if you wanted something more higher end, then there were a bunch of other companies making Ninja Turtles toys. With Mattel though, okay, so Mattel I do think makes solid action figures. In fact, I've gotten more into them, especially since I got into collecting the Turtles of Grayskull line from them, which who knew, apparently that was actually foreshadowing for what this was going to be and not just like, oh, a fun little crossover for the time. But also, I have been collecting some other Masters of the Universe figures, which I think are pretty good, and I am excited for their upcoming DC figures, both their Kids Core line and also in the line that's intended for more older collectors. I think they're going to do a great job with those, and I'm sure they're going to do a fantastic job with Ninja Turtles. Like, yeah, I'm sure they're going to be different from the Turtles of Grayskull figures, since those were like the Masters of the Universe origin style, but like still, I really enjoyed those figures, and I think, yeah, they're gonna do a great job. But I do but it makes me sad because on the one hand, it does make me worry that there is a chance Mattel might not be willing to share the Ninja Turtles brand like Playmates was. Like, Playmates was totally down to just kind of like let anyone else do Ninja Turtles figures too, like NECA, Super 7, you know, yada yada. And of course Mattel for, you know, the Turtles of Grayskull line. But Mattel, I'm kind of wondering if they'll also be as lenient. Will we still continue getting the NECA figures and the Super 7 figures? Because I really still want to collect more of the NECA 2012 Turtles and the Super 7 2003 Turtles. But, you know, that's like, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I hope that's still the case, that we can still get all these other people still making Ninja Turtles figures, and Mattel could just continue making stuff for like the new movies and shows, like the upcoming Mutant Mayhem sequel. Honestly, I have a lot of things to say, and I might share this because I do intend to make like a Playmate specific video one day to talk about my love for Playmates Turtles and my collection that I have of Playmates Turtles, but that'll probably be near the end of the year. I'm sure Mattel's gonna do a good job continuing making that new set of like promotion, you know, plastic to promote the movies and shows. That this is going to be one of the last few things from Playmates for the Ninja Turtles brand that we're gonna see. You know, in some ways, it kind of feels special, you know, right? It's gonna make every single release that we get this year from them feel special. And yeah, so I'm excited to get whatever other Playmates Turtles that come out this year, including the rest of the Godzilla line that they're making, and as well as the Godzilla crossover line and the G.I. Joe crossover line. But I'm also looking forward to see what Mattel does. But yeah, these like set of 2-packs from the Mutant Mayhem short are really good. They're fun, just like the short. And yeah, I'm sorry this took way too long, honestly. It really should not have.